the reason, Commodore, I keep on saying, how do we know if they're trolls? How do we know if they're agents of influence among others? Is because we're in a democracy, right? There's a freedom of expression, and people are entitled to criticize the government. I criticize the government, whether it's this government, the previous government. As journalists, as scholars, we feel entitled to that right because it's enshrined in our constitution. So, from your perspective, what is an acceptable exercise of freedom of expression in the context of disinformation in the West Philippine Sea? In short, are there people who are weaponizing this, taking advantage of our freedoms to undermine us from within? Is this your concern?
Well, for me, Richard, when you talk about the freedom of expression, as you said, this is a constitutional right that allowed us as a democratic country to exercise, right? But for me, it's quite alarming if you are exercising your freedom of expression while at the same time undermining our own national security. So that might be a threshold. That's something that you would say you're already crossing the threshold of practicing your constitutional right. It is unfortunate, like we don't have any existing law to say that
Right.
you have already overstretched your freedom of expression, and that has been the strategy of these trolls, saying that what they're doing is that they're just exercising freedom of expression. But in reality, what they're doing is they are undermining our own position, the West Philippine Sea, and pushing forward the narrative of the People's Republic of China, and even highlighting that it's China who has much more legitimate claims, while the Philippines do not have. Those
Right.
kind of statements.
So, going back again to this issue, do you think we should pass new laws or enforce existing laws? For instance, should some of these personalities who, again, coincidentally, just say a pro-China line all the time or anti-West Philippine position, should they be compelled to register as foreign agents of foreign influence? Because I think we have existing laws on that, or maybe we have to enforce that strictly. Now, maybe this is a too strong of a word, but some are even talking about updating our laws on treason, peacetime treason. Because last time I checked, our treason laws apply to like wartime,
Only wartime.
and this is like Commonwealth era, and now there's liquid warfare, or there's hybrid warfare, right? It's not about just shooting, right? Some would say the Philippines is already in the middle of an information warfare, psychological warfare. Do you think it's important, speaking of legislators, we kept on talking about a certain legislator, do you think it's important for our legislators to update or to even introduce new legislations in this regard?
Well, I think it was last week, right?
Yeah.
I even tweeted about this. I recognized and appreciated the lower house, the House of Representatives, when they called out those, bloggers.
Yeah.
And during the committee hearing, those kind of issues were highlighted. That should there be a law to be passed to control the freedom of expression when it comes to national security concern, blah, blah, blah. And I don't want to comment on that.
Exactly.
As I said, I recognize the effort of the lower house. I understand that the members of the House of Representatives now, led by Speaker Romualdez, do understand those laws that are needed to be passed